Welcome back. Today's the day we put a BMW engine into a Chevy 1-ton pickup. This is the second engine swap we've done in the ditch pig, but when we put the 261 in place of the old 235, it was a direct swap and finished in a couple hours. This is actually the first time I'll be installing an engine in a vehicle that was not a direct fit. I'm pretty excited to see what kind of challenges it presents. The dream, of course, is that one 6-cylinder engine replacing another 6-cylinder engine should be pretty easy, right? All right, we've run into our first problem, fitting the motor, the engine into the truck. So we're kind of butted up against the firewall where the original one sat. Problem we're having is our power steering pump's hitting this front cross member as well as the oil pan here. So we're gonna try and take some of this stuff out. We feel we might have to notch this to get the engine to sit lower and get that valve cover down, because the little hump in the firewall is actually meant for the valve cover to be in the center, and this one's gonna be off center. So that's our first obstacle. We're gonna pull the power steering assembly off, see if that gives us any more room. With the power steering components out of the way, it's looking like we'll be okay for space. We measured the two engines and they were pretty much the exact same length. The difference lies in the bell housing and the transmission. Most of the time now is being spent maneuvering the engine, trying to get it under the cab and then over the rear crossmember at the same time. Problem is now we're right against the against the firewall.
Oh, I see right there. Well, that's easy enough. I mean,
but would you rather cut that, or would we rather cut like this? Like the motor still needs, it looks like the front needs to come down a little bit.
it does.
And then that way it gives us a couple inches. And I think we're gonna be laughing at that point. So after a little bit of messing around, we got the engine really close. But we're gonna have to do some notching right here in the front. We're gonna get it lower and bring it ahead a little bit. But we've got like probably 18 inches of headspace above the engine once it's in. And we're gonna have to modify the shift linkage quite a bit in order to make it fit inside the cab. I've got a pretty modest shop and a decent selection of tools, and this job could be done with less than the tools that I have. But if there's one thing I've learned about tools, is that you need a plasma cutter. That is not optional. With the crossmember cut, we now had quite a bit of room to work with. What we were struggling with is not having the engine level on the hoist. Unlike the old 261 that has the valve cover perpendicular to the chassis, the BMW engine has to sit on an angle to keep the carbs level. We spent a fair amount of time getting the engine adjusted on the hoist, but it took some fine tuning with a ratchet strap to get us where we needed to be. After a ton of messing around, we are finally happy with the fitment. Now we get to fab up the engine mounts. As Pop started measuring the engine mounts, I had my first moment of question. When we originally built the ditch pig, one of my favorite aspects of it is that there was actually nothing done to it. It's a stock frame, stock suspension, stock panels, stock cab, stock brakes. All we had to do was remove the bed and the seats, and the truck was basically unmodified again. So to weld new engine mounts directly to the frame is kind of the first real modification that can't be undone. But that was a brief moment of question, and we got right to welding.
Trail, and then that, right?
Yeah, so it'll be...
It's gonna be like that. This one?
Well, there it is. Engine's in, resting on its own mounts. Everything looks pretty good. It does fit pretty nice with ended up cutting out quite a bit of this cross member. We probably didn't need to cut out that much, but we'll make it look nice. The next step is going to be the transmission cross member. Then it's going to be fully supported, and then I'll be able to pull it all out, weld up our mounts, and start working on all the rest of the stuff. So pretty good start so far. I think this is going to be pretty cool. So anyways, hopefully this wasn't too hard to watch. We'll see. It was kind of filmed sporadically, and yeah, is what it is. I'm hoping I got the quality up a little bit better. I think I figured out why they all look like they're filmed in 1994. So hopefully that's a little bit better. Anyways, thanks for watching. Cheers.